Welcome, class of 2017 of Edmonds Woodway. We are your EDUB counselors here today, and we're going to help you through a post-high school planning lesson. So we're going to start off by introducing ourselves.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Brennan, and I cover the kids who are A through CONN.
I'm Angela Nivens, and I work with students whose last names begin with COO and go through HI.
I'm Molly Chalman, and I work with students with last names HO through MC.
I'm Evan Hatch, working with students' last names ME through RU.
And I'm Tanya Maxfield, and I work with students with the last names S through Z.
And Jennifer Luce is our deaf and hard of hearing counselor. We round out our office by working with Shanna Lipscomb, who is our College and Career Center specialist. Thank you, and hope you enjoy the lesson. Our agenda for today is post-high school options, graduation requirements, timelines and deadlines, and your all-important senior interview, which is a graduation requirement. What are your options after high school? You have quite a few. You could attend a community college or a technical school. Typically, it's 2 years or less, and there you may earn an AA degree or an Associate of Arts or an Associate of Science degree. You could also attend a college or a university, which is typically 4 years, and there you can earn a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science degree. Some students continue on for additional years where they can earn a master's degree or a doctorate degree. From high school, you could begin your career. You could also go straight into the military, or you could start an apprenticeship program where you could learn on-the-job training for certain trade programs.
Did you know that there is a direct connection between the amount of education you have and the salary that you earn? The higher a degree you attain, the more money you can make, and the lower your unemployment rate is. It's a win-win. If your area of interest is construction, you have many options for education. You can get a certificate, an AA, in construction management. If you want your bachelor's, you can choose a BS in construction engineering technology. Let's say you want to go even further. How about a master's degree in construction management? The sky's the limit when it comes to your education. So not only is it important to us, your school counselors, that you're on track for a high school diploma, we also want you working on your plan after high school and getting the education you need in your area of interest so you can be fulfilled in your job as well as financially secure. Another fun fact, did you know that over a lifetime, someone who has a BA level of education makes about $1 million more than someone who only has a high school diploma? That is a very big number. As seniors, you all know by now that you need 22 credits to graduate, so you should have started your senior year with 16 credits. But did you know your graduation requirements are the number of credits you need in different subjects? This means that taking 22 credits of PE will not get you your diploma at Edmonds Woodway. Full IB students take a rigorous course load and need 10 credits for graduation. As you can see by the slide, this does not in any way mean a full IB student is taking less classes or a lighter load. It's just a different calculation. So if you think you might not be on track to graduate, please make an appointment with your counselor through Miss Mentier in the counseling office. You have so many options for education after high school. The next few slides will go over some of them, from apprenticeships and military to 2- and 4-year colleges. And don't forget to visit the Edmonds Woodway College Planning Night on October 17th. This is a great way to get more information. What is an apprenticeship? It's a job and it's a school. An apprentice is someone who is new to the field, who learns their skills needed for the job. An apprentice is trained by a master craftsman, who is an expert in their field. They share their skills and knowledge to help the apprentice become an expert too. Some example of different fields that offer apprenticeships are healthcare, manufacturing, food prep, public safety, and construction. So in short, learn the job as you get paid for it. It's a win-win. The military is another way to fund your education. Whether your interest is in flying a bomber or protecting our waterways, the military has a place for you. Every branch of the military offers tuition assistance programs to cover a portion or the entirety of a service member's tuition costs. You can get a degree or professional certificate offered by accredited colleges, universities, and technical schools. Check out our Career Center for when the branch you are interested in is coming to visit so you can get your questions answered and decide if this is the right choice for you.
Another great option after high school are two-year colleges, also called community colleges and technical colleges. Edmonds is the closest community college to where we are, but there are 34 community and technical colleges across the state. The website up there, the SBCTC, State Board of Community and Technical Colleges, that website lets you search for colleges that have a certain program or search for all the programs available at any one particular two-year college. Two-year colleges require that you take a placement test to prove your English and math skills, or they'll look on your high school transcript to see if you've earned a good enough grade in your most recent English or math class. So it's important to do well and earn good grades in those core classes in 12th grade, in case it makes a difference for you when you're trying to place into college-level classes. Some classes taken in high school will transfer to a community college. Running start classes taken at the community college are permanently added to your college transcript, and tech prep and college in the high school classes are also added to your college transcript. It's important to understand that students are required to show transcripts of all two-year colleges when applying to transfer to any four-year university. It's best if your applications for two-year colleges and financial aid are both completed in November, and it's best if you register in the spring of 12th grade in order to have the best course selection when you start that college in the fall. Let's talk more about two-year college course selection on the next slide. Edmonds Community College, or EDCC, is the closest two-year college to our high school, as we said. Many students attend EDCC with plans of taking 2 years of general transferable classes and then apply to a four-year college to take classes for 2 more years there in order to finish with a 4-year bachelor's degree. But it's important that you know that many other students enroll at a 2-year community or technical college to complete a certificate program, which may take even less than 2 years to complete. This slide shows examples of certificate programs available at Edmonds Community College, and there are different certificate programs available at other two-year colleges across our state. EDCC offers Edmonds Woodway students a one-stop shop enrollment program regardless of whether you plan to go there to earn a certificate or to earn a 2-year transfer degree before enrolling in a 4-year college. And that program is called Acing College. And the Edmonds Community College staff will come here in the fall and help students learn about the different programs at EDCC and the application process for the college, as well as the financial aid process and the placement process, all the important information that you need to know. This is an incredible and free opportunity you don't want to miss out on. Now let's talk about four-year colleges and universities. Applying to four-year schools requires students to research the programs and offerings and individual admissions requirements of each school they're interested in. This slide shows some of the most common admissions requirements for four-year schools. Most of the classes that are required for high school graduation are also required for four-year college admissions, but as you can see, there are a couple of additional core area requirements like world language and a senior quantitative course or a senior math-based course that are often required. Most four-year colleges require that you take the SAT or the ACT tests, and we will talk more about those tests on the next slide. Also, more colleges are looking to see that you took courses that were appropriately challenging for you, and that you took those courses seriously and earned good grades. Every student is unique, and that's going to mean something different for every student. Also, because every student is unique, four-year college admissions offices want to hear your unique story, and the personal statement and essay section of your application is your chance to tell them what you want to know, what you want them to know about you. And there really isn't a wrong way of doing this. The colleges want to see how well you know yourself and what you've learned about yourself in the world, and this is the place where you can do that. Colleges will usually have application fees of $50 to $60 per school, but the Counseling Center has application fee waivers for students on free reduced lunch. Of course, it's very important to know the application deadlines and what they are for each school that you're interested in, and be sure to meet those application deadlines. Meeting those deadlines is your first chance to show the college that you're responsible and organized, and both of those skills are things that colleges will want you to have before you arrive on their campus. And we recommend, and we'll talk about this on the next slide, is visiting with college reps in the Career Center and using the new Naviance College Supermatch tool to narrow down your list of potential colleges. This slide shows you information about the two main college admissions tests, the SAT and the ACT. Colleges don't prefer one over the other, but there are a few differences in the tests, and you may do better on one versus the other. The ACT has a general science section, and the SAT doesn't have a science section, so if you feel good about your science skills, you may want to consider focusing on the ACT. The SAT has changed recently, and in many ways it's now more like the ACT, except for the science section, of course. Almost all colleges say that they will look at all your scores from all your tests and focus on when and where you scored the highest, so you may benefit from trying both tests. Information on how and when to register is listed there below. The fee for both these tests is between $40 and $50, and the Counseling Center have fee waivers for students on free and reduced lunch. These tests are offered at different high schools and colleges in our area, and convenient locations can fill up quickly sometimes, so be sure to register earlier to have the best choices for where to go take the tests. Note that the registration deadlines are about a month or so prior to the actual test day. So how do you determine which college is right for you? If you're thinking that this process is confusing and overwhelming, then you are right. It's really hard for a teenager to make a perfect decision about the right college. We recommend that you do your best to find out about a variety of college options and trust yourself that your hard work to find the right college will help you feel good about wherever you end up going. Again, it will help to use the College Supermatch tool in Naviance as well as other college search tools like the ones we have listed here. And it will help to talk with colleges that come to our Career Center and present information about their college, as well as going on visits to college campuses that you're interested in. In the end, we recommend submitting applications to something like 4 to 6 colleges, and let's talk more about that here on the next slide. We recommend applying to schools that will vary in their level of application competitiveness. In other words, we recommend applying to a few safety or likely schools that seem to have a lower GPA and test score average than your grades and test scores. And as well, apply to a few schools that have roughly equal to or slightly higher GPA and test score averages compared to yours. This is one of those scenarios where you won't know until you try, so we recommend trying a variety of options to give yourself the best chances possible of gaining admission to at least one school that you're excited about attending.
What we're looking at here are the scores of students admitted to public Washington State universities for this current school year. So what you're seeing, if you look under each column, are either ranges of scores or average scores. Each university seems to be reporting slightly different scores. So let's use Central Washington University as an example. You'll see under GPA that it says 2.8 to 3.5. What this is the middle 50% of students who were admitted had scores within this range. It doesn't mean that they didn't admit students with lower scores. There were also students admitted who had higher scores. This is just the middle half of the students that were admitted to Central Washington University. If you look at Eastern under GPA, you can see it just says 3.27. That's the average GPA of all of the students who were admitted to that university. So it kind of gives you an idea of who the students are that were admitted this past school year, and you can kind of compare that to where you're at as a student. Where do you fit in on those averages and ranges? One of the other things that we wanted to draw your attention to is that 2 universities on this list offer assured admission. Washington State University offers admission guaranteed, basically, if you have a 3.5 or higher GPA. Eastern Washington is the other university that offers assured admission, but to get in there you have to have a 3.3 GPA and you also have to meet minimum SAT or ACT scores. And you can find the details about that information on their websites. these are averages for a small selection of private universities. We've got Duke on here, New York University, University of Southern California, and University of Portland. You'll see that we really are only showing ranges for SAT and ACT scores for New York University and USC. One thing that I wanted to mention about the SAT scores that are being shown on this slide and the previous slide is that these are old SAT scores. The new SAT scores aren't being used yet for college admissions, but they will be for this next school year. So just be aware of that. One of the other things that you may be thinking after looking at these slides of all these GPAs and SATs, ACT scores is that university admissions only care about grades and test scores. But that's not really true. Most universities look at other factors. One of the things that they pay a lot of attention to is your personal essay and any short answer questions that you have to respond to. They also care a lot about the rigor of your curriculum, including your senior year. They want you to have a very strong senior year and show them that you are dedicated and committed to academics. Any subjects that you take kind of above and beyond the minimum needed for college admissions is also showing that you're dedicated. If you take IB courses, AP courses, any college in the high school, maybe you do Running Start classes, any college preparatory courses are beneficial and will demonstrate to admissions officers that you're ready for university level work. Also, positive grade trends are important. Let's just pretend that your freshman year was a little bit shaky and you didn't do as well as you wanted to, but you did a lot better in 10th grade, 11th grade, and your first semester senior year. That also demonstrates growth and improvement and is something that admissions officers look at in a really positive light. To get the best information about what universities are looking for in a student, you're going to want to go onto their website. So whatever schools you're applying to, look really carefully at their admissions page and read about what their expectations are for their students. That way you'll have a clear picture whether or not that university is going to be a good fit for you. So this slide is all about how much college costs. So this is just a sampling of schools in our state. We've got University of Washington, Washington State University, Seattle Pacific University, Central Washington University, and Edmonds Community College. You'll see that University of Washington's yearly tuition is just over $10,000, close to $11,000, and when you add in room and board, it bumps up the cost quite a bit. Washington State University is just a little bit more expensive than University of Washington. Their room and board is kind of in the same range. Seattle Pacific, though, because it's a private university, the cost of tuition is considerably higher. One of the things about the private universities, because their tuition is so high, they often offer scholarships to help bring that down. So that's one thing that you can check into. But one thing to ask the private universities when you're looking into tuition costs and scholarships is, do they offer scholarships that are renewable? So if they just offer you a scholarship for 1 year, that's great, but are you going to be able to afford to go there the following years? Central Washington University, you can see their tuition is quite a bit lower than the others listed. $6,000 is a pretty good price. The other one that has a really low cost is the Evergreen State College. And then the last one on there is Edmonds Community College. It's just under $4,000 a year. Their room and board is about $10,000 if you live on campus. Most of you wouldn't have to do that because you live locally here. But Edmonds is a really good, it's actually a really good tuition rate and can end up saving you a lot of money if you decide to get your 2-year associate's degree there and then transfer to one of the universities. Okay, all this is great about college, but how am I going to pay for it? Well, there's a few different ways that you can pay for college. Hopefully you've got some money set aside that maybe your family saved, but if not, there are other ways to get college paid for. One really good way is through scholarships. And scholarships take a little bit of work, but they do pay off in the long run. And there's different types of scholarships. Some are based on academic merit, some are based on financial need, and a combination of other things. You're going to start seeing scholarships being advertised probably end of October, early November is when scholarship season begins. If you are interested in looking at scholarships, definitely fill out the EDUB scholarship application, which is on Naviance. There are a couple other places that you can look for scholarships. One is the washboard.org. And the Washboard is a local database. This is just for scholarships that are in Washington State. So it's really useful when you apply through them. You're competing with other Washington State students. The other good site that has over 1 million scholarships on it is fastweb.com. And Fastweb, it's a commercial site, which means it has some advertisements on it. But it is a huge database, and you're going to see all kinds of different scholarships on there. I remember one year I was looking for a scholarship on Fastweb and came across one for redheads. I was really surprised because I didn't think that there were scholarships for things like that. So anyway, it's a great site. You just have to kind of weed through all of the ads. That's kind of the downside of it. Make sure that you fill out your FAFSA or WASFA. This is opening on October 1st. And if you fill out the FAFSA, there's 3 different ways that you can get college funding through that program. One are student loans that you have to pay back. The other one is grant money that you don't have to pay back. And then they also have something called work study. And work study is where you get a job at the university. Basically, it's just giving you spending money that you can use to help pay for your education. The other thing that this slide is talking about is scholarship scams. You just want to keep your eyes open. There are people out there who tell you that if you give them a certain amount of money for a fee, they're going to make sure that you get all kinds of scholarships. Well, those are scams. Scholarships are advertised all over the place through Washboard or Fastweb or other locations for free. You should never have to pay to get access to scholarships. If you come across anybody who's asking you to pay for scholarships, that's a scam. So just be careful of that. Make sure that you're signed up on Naviance and you want to look there for any local scholarships. There's a lot of scholarships that are available just for Edmonds School District students, and those are all going to be listed on Naviance. If you have questions about scholarships and paying for school, you can talk to the financial aid office at the universities that you're applying to, or the financial aid office at Edmonds Community College, or you can also talk to us down in the Career Center or to your counselor. Okay, this slide is all about the Western Undergraduate Exchange, and some of you may have heard of it, but maybe some of you aren't aware of this program. What this is a regional tuition agreement between states that allows students from specific states to enroll in more than 150 2- and 4-year public colleges, technical schools, and universities. And what's really great about it is that you only have to pay 150% of the enrolling institution's resident tuition. So basically what you do is you take the resident tuition and you multiply it times 1.5, and that tells you what the tuition is going to be that you would pay. So you don't have to pay out-of-state tuition, which, as you know, is very expensive. So, for example, let's say that I want to study elementary education at the University of Hawaii, West Oahu. The out-of-state tuition there, which I would normally pay, costs just over $10,000. With the WUI program, the cost would be just over $5,000. So you're getting a significant discount through this program. If you are thinking that this is something you're really interested in because you want to go to a college or a university at one of these states on here, you're going to want to go to the WUI website to look up the university that you're interested in. Once you're there and you're looking at certain universities, you want to click on the university link and take a look at the major programs that they offer. Some universities limit which programs you can participate or that you can get the WUI discount in. Other universities say it doesn't matter. You can major in any subject that we offer and you can still have the WUI discount. But anyway, you'll see all of that on their website. That's just something that you want to check out before you fill out the application. The other piece of this is that you need to apply early. This rate is not automatically awarded to all eligible candidates, and many institutions limit the number of new WUI awards that they offer each year. So it's important to apply early and make sure that your application indicates that you're applying through the WUI program. If you don't, you may be charged out-of-state tuition, and you don't want that to happen. If you'd like more information on this, feel free to come and see your counselor. The website that's on this slide is a really good one, and it's got a lot of information, so you could go check that out as well.
So now that we've learned a little bit about what you need to know and what you need to research to get into college, and you've also learned a little bit about options you have after high school, now is the time to learn a little bit more about the application process. So the application process is a little bit different this year because we are using Naviance. This is a great tool that's going to help you along the way as far as college research, but also requesting documents through the system. Documents you might request are transcripts and letters of recommendation from your counselors or your teachers. I know a lot of us are a little overwhelmed with Naviance because it's new, but let me assure you that once you're in it and you're going through the process of applying, it's pretty straightforward. If you need extra help, please don't hesitate to come to the counseling office or the Career Center just to get some extra help. But also, we created the Naviance College Planning Checklist with step-by-step instructions worksheet, so you guys can have that as a reference when you're working on your own on applying to colleges. So as we're going through this PowerPoint, definitely take a look at the worksheet as a reference, and it'll help you along the way. Look at number 1 on our PowerPoint here. The first thing we really want students to do as they're thinking about the college application process is to complete the SuperMatch College Search Tool, which is found in Naviance. This is a program that's going to help students identify the types of school that might be the best fit for them. By making selections from a list of college decision factors and ranking their importance, SuperMatch begins to display best match colleges with info on why each school might be a good fit for a particular student. College fit is a really important factor. There's other factors besides academics that might be important to a student. You might want a more diverse campus. You might want specific career options or areas of study. So it's important to complete this tool to really make sure that you're looking towards the right schools that are going to work best for you. Once you've completed the SuperMatch College Search tool, you're going to take those schools that are interesting to you and add them to the colleges I'm thinking about in Naviance. Whenever you're on a college page in Naviance, there's always going to be a button on that page that says Add to colleges I'm thinking about. It's just a quick click of a button. once you've thought about it a little more, maybe visited a school, you've done more research, and you're certain that you want to apply to a specific school, you're going to click on that school, and then you can add schools into the Colleges I'm Applying To section of Naviance. Once you have your list of colleges that you're going to apply to, it's time to start researching if any of those colleges require a letter of recommendation, a personal statement, or an essay. Now we're going to talk about letters of recommendation. If you need a letter, the number one step is to first ask your recommender or counselor in person. You got to remember that there are 4 new counselors in the building and we don't know you yet. This is just a good time to get to know each other, talk a little bit about what you've done in the last 4 years. And it's really just so the counselor can write you a better letter. Also, it's polite. Asking for a letter, it's kind of a big deal and it takes a lot of time for that person writing it. So it's just more appropriate to ask somebody in person for a letter of recommendation. You want to make sure you're giving 3 weeks notice to either the teacher or counselor who you're requesting it from. There is also a form. It was previously called a brag sheet, but we've just renamed it the Counselor Teacher Letter of Request form. And you can actually find that in Naviance. On the home page when you log in, on the left there's a list of popular links, and if you scroll down to the very bottom, that link is right there. So make sure you're on the home page and you look for the links area. So also, once you're in Naviance, under the Colleges tab, you're going to scroll down to find the Teacher Recommendations section. So this is important because if you haven't added your colleges that I am applying to yet in Naviance, you're not going to have the option to request a letter of rec from your teacher. So make sure you've already added the colleges you're applying to, and then once you're in that colleges section, you'll see it. And then you can just select your teacher's name. They've all been uploaded to Naviance, and then enter a personal message to them and click Update Request, and that'll send off that request to your teacher. But remember, we want you to have talked to them in person prior to the request. Once you've completed your college applications, it's time to request transcripts. Transcripts are going to be requested through Naviance. So once you're in Naviance, go to the Colleges I'm Applying To tab and click on I have applied. This will initiate a transcript request. Also, it's very important to make sure you are matching your Common App to your Naviance account. When you're in the Common App, it's important that you sign the FERPA waiver, which allows Naviance and the Common App to share information.
Wow, that was a lot of information. Seniors, thanks for hanging in there with us. So key dates for you to remember. This is different. This year, the FAFSA is opening up on October 1st instead of its typical January date. This is for the free application for student aid. So if you were looking for some financial assistance from the federal government to attend a training program or a college of your choice, you want to fill out the FAFSA. So go to fafsa.ed.gov. You'll probably need some help from your parents because you're going to need their financial information. But please do get started on it. That money is first come, first served based on need. National College Fairs, October 21st through the 22nd in downtown Seattle at the Convention Center. October 17th is our own Edmonds Woodway College Planning Night. We look forward to seeing you and your parents there to get those last-minute college questions. November 15th is early decision deadline. December 1st is that deadline for the UW application. December 1st through January 15th, priority deadline for many colleges. In December, if you're applying to a private university or private college, you may be asked to fill out a CSS profile. You can find the information at the website you see below. May 1st is all-important National Decision Day, where you get to notify those training programs and schools where you are going to be attending next year, and we look forward to celebrating with you. If you didn't already know, October is National Caffeine Addiction Recovery Month, and we counselors are here to help you. And finally, October senior interviews. Schedule now will guide you through your post-high school planning.